Jared Blay, MP, Deputy Premier, Minister for State Development, Infrastructure and Planning, and Minister for Industrial Relations, and Member for Kawana. The Honourable Catherine King, MP, Minister for Infrastructure, Transport, Regional Development and Local Government, and Member for Ballarat. Senator the Honourable Murray Watt, Minister for Employment and Workplace Relations and Senator for Queensland. Senator the Honourable Anthony Chisholm, Assistant Minister for Education, Regional Development, Agriculture, Fisheries and Forestry, Deputy Manager of Government Business in the Senate and Senator for Queensland. Deputy Mayor, Councillor Krista Adams. Members of Council's Civic Cabinet, Councillor Adam Allen, Councillor Fiona Cunningham, Councillor Vicky Howard, Councillor Sarah Hutton, Councillor Andrew Wines. The Chair of Council, Councillor Sandy Landers. The Leader of the Opposition, Councillor Jared Cassidy. Councillors Kim Marks, Steve Toomey, Greg Adaman, Lisa Atwood, Penny Wolfe, Julia Dixon and Alex Gibney. Former Premier and Lord Mayor of Brisbane, Campbell Newman, AO. Former Member for Brisbane, Trevor Evans. The new tomorrow CEO of Brisbane City Council, Professor Kerry Freeman. The CEO of Bessex Watpac, and representing today the Connect Brisbane Consortium, Mr. Mark Baker. The CEO of Bicycle Queensland, Alton Twine. The CEO of ComSec, Scott Smith. Richard and Jane Deary, the owners of the Storybridge Hotel. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. With those acknowledgements out of the way, we will now get on with the show. Would you please put your hands together and make welcome Auntie Teresa Williams and Uncle Rob, who will perform our Welcome to Country.
Kurumba, Bigi Bigi, Niadua, Yebri Kaloma, the Jagara Jayagara Turbo, Yanjin, Michigan, Waro Tabu Memba, Jom, Yawa, Bundi, Tia, Tima, Dendri, Yari, Baro. I gave my respects and honour to my ancestors. This is their birthplace, circa 1810. This is my birthplace and the birthplace of my son. I honour my family and my ancestors who were here all those years ago. We are still here. I'm here to carry on our sacred legacy of Jagara Jayagara Turbo. Jagandura Mewa Kong. It was customary for us to prepare for events such as this all those many moons ago. The invitations were out. The Murray and Gurry and Guri grapevine was active, and our smoke signals were sent from the vantage points around Brisbane, which I have shown my children where they are. We know our burial sites, we know our birthing sites. This land on which I stand and which we are all here today is very special to me, to my family and to all Aboriginal people. I would like to pay my respects to all the ancestors and elders who have passed into the dreaming. They are the protectors of our sacred Lord, my Lord, our Lord. Timchi Duan, Jom Yawa. Just like all those years ago, centuries ago, when the invitations were sent, the smoke signals were activated. There were particular types of smoke signals that our people understood. They were welcomed with bundi bundi, message sticks, and a smoke ceremony, Jom Yawa. So just as the special guests such as yourself, the neighbouring tribes, the clans, the visitors arrived, they were welcomed with bundi bundi, with smoking, Yawa dance and song. I have songs that I have inherited from my ancestors. So I would like to think that we all feel welcome here today with this ceremony which is sacred and ancient. This is an authentic smoking and welcome ceremony. So I hope and pray that you all feel welcome. Please feel welcome in this beautiful homeland, this Jagandura. Beautiful, growing, strong homeland. Tinchiduan, Tia, Tinchiduan, Jagara Turabo. So this blessing that I give to you is part of the blessings that I receive every day from my ancestors and my elders. We are here to start to embrace this link to our beautiful Brisbane, our Michigan, Mianjin, Turabo, Jagara, Yagara. I would like to think, and I think that my ancestors would have been very happy with this big new log across the river. You agree? Thank you. And I think also that the footprints we'll be making here today, the pathways we're making here today to link us all together as a community is so beautiful. And I wish that they were here, but they are here. And they've asked me to say that they wish that this was here for them instead of having to carve out canoes and create logs across this mighty calm. So, blessings and welcome to Mianjin, Maiwa, Kong, Michigan. Stepping stones for Uncle Rob with blessings. Thank you.
Thank you, Auntie Teresa and Uncle Rob, for that wonderful welcome to country and smoking ceremony, and for the selection of your words that you spoke. I think it was very fitting for this occasion. Brisbane City Council is, of course, very proud to partner with the city's Aboriginal community, as have Bessix Watpac throughout this project, and it's been great to have them here this morning to get us off to a great start. Ladies and gentlemen, you might be surprised to learn that the construction of a bridge connecting Kangaroo Point and the CBD is not a new concept. In fact, a bridge on this alignment was first talked about over 160 years ago, in 1860. It took another 30 years for Owen Jones, the then engineer of roads and bridges in southern Queensland, to propose this connection in 1890 in a concept plan. However, it was delayed by the 1890s recession and the 1893 Great Brisbane Flood. By 1926, the state government Cross River Commission recommended 12 new Brisbane river crossings, and by that time, the focus had shifted from pedestrian bridges to car bridges. And so the William Jolly Bridge and the Story Bridge were built in the 1930s. And it wasn't until 70 years later that the focus shifted back to pedestrian connections. First, the Goodwill Bridge, opened by Peter Beattie in 2001. Then the Eleanor Chanel Bridge, the first bus, cycle and pedestrian only bridge in Australia, which was opened by Campbell Newman in 2005, almost 17 years ago to the day. However, it wasn't until the 31st of March 2019 that the Kangaroo Point Bridge got a look in once again. Having just won a hotly contested party room ballot, the incoming but not yet sworn in Lord Mayor of Brisbane, Adrian Schrinner, pitched a bold 10-year vision for new pedestrian and cycling bridges in Brisbane. The centrepiece would be the Kangaroo Point Bridge. This bridge, he said, had been talked about for over a century, but if he was re-elected the coming election, it would be built before the end of his first term. We almost got there, didn't we, Lord Mayor? Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome our first speaker and the key sponsor of the Kangaroo Point Bridge, Lord Mayor of Brisbane, Adrian Schrinner.
Well, thank you, Councillor Murphy. Good morning, everyone. It's wonderful to see you here. All of the distinguished guests from all three levels of government, to our construction contractor, Bessick Watpac, who have done a fantastic job here. Most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, to each and every one of you who will, no doubt, very soon, in a few minutes' time, cross this bridge for the very first time, but we know it won't be the last time. Now, Councillor Murphy gave a little bit of an interesting history of some bridges in Brisbane, but it's not every day that a new bridge opens in this city. And when you think about the significance of the Brisbane River to our city, the cultural significance, but also the fact that it is a point of divide. Can I ask who's from the north side here? Put your hand up. Okay. Who's from the south side? Who's from some other side? The fact that we refer to ourselves as Northsiders or Southsiders is significant because from a connection point of view and a transport point of view, the river has always been a source of divide. And it's always been a source of hot discussion and debate about how we connect that divide. And so right from the beginning of politics and government in Brisbane, there's been discussion about bridges. Which bridges should be built, which bridges should be prioritised, what they should be like, and who should pay for them. And let me tell you another little story. It's about the very first bridge in Brisbane. We know it as the Victoria Bridge. There were no other bridges. Victoria Bridge was serviced connecting the north side and the south side by a ferry from the beginning of the settlement of Brisbane. It's the only way you could get across the river, by boat. And so, in a sign of what was to come, a discussion kicked off about the need for a new bridge. And almost immediately that turned to who would pay for this new bridge. Would it be the Queensland government? There was actually no federal government at that point in time. Or would it be the Brisbane City Council? And unfortunately the council lost that argument. And so it was the council's job to pay for that very first bridge, but the council didn't actually have any money at the time. So that bridge was built as a temporary wooden structure. That bridge opened in 1865 as a temporary wooden structure. They couldn't afford a steel structure. And within 2 years, that bridge was eaten by marine borers. And then there was a flood and it fell down. It literally fell down. So within 2 years of being built. People then had to wait until, that was back to ferries at that point. People then had to wait until 1874 for the second bridge to be built in Brisbane. The first one we know as Victoria Bridge. That opened in 1874, and then in 1893, it was washed away in the Great Flood of 1893. The highest flood that we have ever seen recorded in this location. The third bridge was built in 1897, 5 years after the flood. The fourth bridge, the current Victoria Bridge, finally we got the state government to pay for something at that point in time, and they opened the current Victoria Bridge in 1969. Thankfully it's still standing and it's survived a number of floods. But this story tells you a few things about where we live and the politics of where we live and the politics of bridges in Brisbane. It's that never-ending debate about the need for connection and also who will fund it and how it will be paid for. And so today, as we open the newest bridge, and it's important to recognise there's never been a year in the city's history where more bridges have been opened in 1 year. We started in January this year with the opening of the Breakfast Creek Bridge. And then in August, we had the Neville Bonner Bridge, which is a privately funded bridge, open up, and we end the year with the opening of the Kangaroo Point Bridge. But this bridge would not have happened without partnership. And I want to acknowledge Minister Catherine King and her federal colleagues here, because the federal government has helped pay for this bridge. And so I guess the lesson of all of this is we need more connection in our city. It's a never-ending challenge. But we also need someone to pay for it as well. And so thank you to the federal government for coming to the rescue to help us with this one. And that need for connection goes on. And we'll no doubt discuss where new bridges will be built in the future, particularly as we head into the lead up to the 2032 Games. But today's a really special day, and I just want to end by saying some thank yous. First of all, to Councillor Murphy, who has led this project for me. He almost got there to open the bridge in the time frame that we had expected, but believe it or not, this bridge started construction in December 2021. And what happened in February 2022? We had a devastating flood. And that flood delayed the bridge for around 6 months. And so you do have an excuse, Councillor Murphy, but we got there in the end. I want to thank the project team, particularly those in council who have led this project. There's so many of them, but I just wanted to call out Scott Stewart, our Divisional Manager for Brisbane Infrastructure, and Jim Heffernan, the Project Director. They have led this project and spearheaded it. To all of the project team, to the team from Bessex Watpac, who've done a fantastic job. They've employed their international expertise on other projects around the world to build something that's truly spectacular and an amazing project. To the different levels of government that have supported this, and most importantly to the people of Brisbane for your patience while this project has been completed. One of the most common questions I've been asked in recent times is, when will it open? Well, it opens in a few minutes' time, and as I said, once it opens, may it never close. We have also a unique feature of this bridge as well, which is just behind me there will be a restaurant in the bridge. I'm not aware of too many bridges with restaurants in them. And the great thing about that is it will provide an ongoing income source for this bridge to help with the maintenance costs over the long period of time. And so it's a bridge that we'd like to see pay for itself over time, and that is a unique feature of this bridge which will set it apart. But ultimately the important thing this bridge does is it provides connection. And it also, as you see each person go across the bridge, whether they're walking, whether they're cycling, or whether they're scooting, that's one person that's not driving their car on another bridge. And that's one person who is little bit by little bit becoming more active and healthy, living a longer and healthier life, and helping us to create a sustainable city. And so every trip that's taken across this bridge does a little bit of good for Brisbane and creates a little bit of connectivity. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Not long to go now, and once again, thank you to everyone that has been involved in making this milestone possible. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Lord Mayor. As the Lord Mayor said, trusted partners are important in any good team. And we've been very fortunate to form a valuable working relationship with the federal government during this project. This cannot be taken for granted. Brisbane City Council has often found Canberra a difficult place to navigate and to understand. Because despite being the largest local government in the country, it's often difficult for those who don't live and breathe Queensland politics to understand the scale and ambition of the projects that Brisbane City Council likes to undertake. However, there are absolutely two federal politicians in the government who do get it. Anthony Albanese, who was the then Federal Infrastructure Minister, who partnered with us to deliver the Legacy Way Tunnel, and the current Infrastructure Minister, Catherine King, who does truly see the benefits that can accrue to cities from generational infrastructure such as this. She's someone who, as a funding partner, has supported us every step of the way through thick and thin to get this project done. She joins us today all the way from Ballarat. Would you please make her welcome?
Thanks so much, Councillor Murphy. It's fantastic to be here. Can I acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land and pay my respects to elders past and present, and thank you very much for that very generous welcome to country. To Lord Mayor Adrian Schrinner, it is such a delight to work with you, particularly on this project. You and I have a love of the built environment and particularly active transport. The Lord Mayor knows I spent a bit of time here in September with my 16-year-old son, who we walked pretty much every single inch of this city, learning about the way in which the built environment works. I have a 16-year-old who's interested in town planning, which is a good thing. And he remarked very much how beautiful this bridge was going to be, and here we are today. Can I acknowledge my federal colleagues, Senator Murray Watt and Senator Anthony Chisholm, who are here with us today, and can I acknowledge our state colleagues, in particular the Deputy Premier Jared Blay. It's lovely to have you here with us as well. Well, what a great day for the City of Brisbane. I'm not going to speak for too long because you've all been waiting in the sun. We can see some clouds coming as well, and everyone wants to get across this unbelievably beautiful bridge. This is a great example of what you can do with infrastructure. It's not just about building a bridge, it is actually, as the Lord Mayor said, about building connections from south to north. It's about active transport, reusing the spaces of your city and activating areas. This bridge in particular, 160 years in the making. A lot of foresight from some of the people who settled Brisbane and developed Brisbane, and it is a huge legacy that all of us bear as we redevelop and build the city. This will be a bridge that not only cuts commute times, so people can actually use it as a pedestrian, for scooting, for cycling, but it also means you'll have less traffic on your ferries as well, so people being able to get to work by walking, as well as getting around 84,000 cars off the roads, and in cities where that congestion is really significant, that is a really important thing to do. The Kangaroo Point Bridge demonstrates the commitment that we have of working closely with local government as a trusted delivery partner to deliver meaningful projects that ensure our planning and our investment together provide the best outcomes for communities across southeast Queensland. I'm very pleased to have partnered with the City of Brisbane to deliver this project, and I'm delighted to be here today to be part of the opening of the bridge, and I'm really looking forward to so many people sharing their images of this new vista that has been opened up to the City of Brisbane. Thank you for having me here today.
Thank you so much, Minister King. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us now to our final speaker before we cut the ribbon and open this bridge. Henry Ford once said, quality means doing the right thing when no one is looking. Clearly, being smack bang in the middle of the Brisbane River has meant everybody has been looking at this bridge before, during and after construction. There has been and there continues to be nowhere to hide. Council's appointment of Bessex Watpac and the Connect Brisbane Consortium has given us the faith that things would be done right on this project. And we have seen the right design, led by the right team, executed with precision and expertise, has delivered a stunning bridge, the bridge that you see today. From managing construction starting during a global pandemic to dealing with the 2022 floods, leading over 1,800 workers and 10 barges to deliver one of the most difficult to build designs with tight tolerances and even tighter deadlines. The Bessex Watpac team has brought the best people, as the Lord Mayor said, from around the world here to Brisbane to give our city not only an asset for its residents and visitors, but an icon to last generations. That enormous team is today represented by one man, their CEO, Mark Baker, an outstanding gentleman and a world-class bridge builder. Would you please make him welcome?
Thank you, Councillor. I've been called many things, but an outstanding gentleman and a bridge builder, that's the first. So thank you. It really is a tremendous honour being here today representing B6 WAPAC. Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge the Honourable Minister King, Senator the Honourable Murray Watt, Senator the Honourable Anthony Chisholm, Deputy Premier the Honourable Jared Blay, and others dignitaries that are here with us today. I'd also like to extend thanks to the Lord Mayor, Adrian Schrinner, and Councillor Murphy in particular. It's been an honour to work with you both and your teams to deliver this outstanding facility, the Kangaroo Point Bridge. WAPAC's impact on Brisbane began in the early 1980s. We started here in Brisbane. Our head office is in Brisbane, and we've had a significant role in the construction of building Queensland's infrastructure. We have built every major sporting stadium in Queensland. We've delivered our state's most recent new hospital at Hurston Quarter. We've built countless schools and tertiary education facilities, heavy industrial and defence facilities, and of course contributed in a very large way to the Brisbane city skyline you see behind you. And now this. In 2018, we were fortunate enough to have been acquired by B6 Group, a large global contractor with specialist capabilities in delivering marine and civil infrastructure. It was this global capability, coupled with our deep local knowledge and partnerships, that enabled us to pursue and ultimately be chosen to deliver this critical piece of infrastructure for the Brisbane City Council. As is typical with a major project such as this, we faced numerous challenges. In addition to the technical design and construction issues, these included a flood, which we've heard about this morning, and once-in-a-generation cost escalation and resource availability constraints. But through collaboration with our partners, I'm sure you will agree we were able to build the best together. Special thanks to all of our consulting partners for their support and assistance, several of whom are with us here today, and importantly to our subcontractors, the workers. Your drive and support enabled us to work 3 shifts a day, 6 days per week for a large part of the program. B6 WAPAC thanks you all for your incredible effort and support. I've joined the Lord Mayor and Councillor Murphy here many times over the last 3 years and can honestly say that it's only through their dedication and collaborative spirit that we're able to stand here today. The maturity and pragmatism of the Brisbane City Council ensured the project was delivered in the most efficient and productive way possible. We had strong mutual trust and respect, and together we delivered this project ahead of contractual program and under target cost. This legacy isn't just about infrastructure though. It has also been about enhancing the capability of Brisbane. Like the Brisbane City Council, we were adamant Kangaroo Point Bridge would be a bridge built by Brisbane. Over 80 subcontractors, represented by over 1,800 workers, worked almost 760,000 hours on this project. The majority were from southeast Queensland and almost half from the Brisbane local government area. In addition to the substantial number of site works and project briefings we conducted for our future construction generation, we were also proud to have had 64 apprentices, 14 graduates, and 13 First Nations people engaged on this project. As a born and bred Brisbane local, being entrusted to deliver a project like this, one that is city defining, was personally very important to me. On behalf of B6 WAPAC, I'd like to thank the Brisbane City Council for the opportunity to deliver this incredible piece of infrastructure. There is no doubt people will enjoy it for many, many years to come. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Mark, for those kind words. Ladies and gentlemen, that ends the formal proceedings. A big thank you to a few people excited to get over this bridge. A big thank you to Brisbane Sustainability Agency for putting the entertainment on for the event. Of course, I could tell you about the 84,000 cars every year this bridge will take off the road, or the 6,400 cyclists and pedestrians that will use it every day, about the tallest tower crane in the world that we had here. Or I could remind you that this is Brisbane's tallest bridge at 95 metres. But why don't we just let you be the judge? So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll now invite the official party to assemble for the ribbon cutting, and we'll have you over this bridge in just a jiff. Thank you so much.
Okay, we officially declare Kangaroo Point Bridge open. There we go. Well done. Good job. Good job. She's a pro. Look at that. All right.
I can't get that.
Yes, you can. Just bear with me. It'll open up. I'm going to move this back and then
Okay, let's get going. We're just bringing down the barriers now. Off we go. Thank you for waiting, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, okay.
Oh, come on.
Post the photo.
Yeah, they're already.
Oh, yeah, good.